So Courtney, we've come to the edge of Cork City here in Douglas.
That's right.
You're a dairy farmer here.
Yeah.
Looking down onto the city.
Yeah.
And I suppose, look, maybe why we're here, it was a lot of change with farming this year on the dairy side, especially around derogation, slurry management and stuff like that. And I suppose it's you were looking for a solution and you were looking to create maybe extra capacity.
Yeah,
So
I suppose
we embarked on something here on that.
we have enough storage on paper, but we were always struggling come the end of December, so kind of had to do something really. We just looked at the cheapest option. So we went down the extra ring on the slurry tank, on the slurry store. Luckily, it was able to take it.
Right. So just in general, you're milking how many cows here for us?
170.
Okay. And say from a housing point of view, are they on slats? A lot of them
No,
are
scrapers, and there's a reception tank in the at the end of the scrapers where that has to be pumped into the slurry store every 25 or 6 days usually.
Okay.
Normally takes that.
Right. So your slurry tower is
there, yeah,
taking the bulk of it then after.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the actual that's all of the slurry storage for the dairy cows really.
Yeah. So when did you build the slurry tower originally?
In 2008.
Okay.
We got the grant for it in 2008.
Right. Okay. And say what kind of a deficit did you think you had on slurry?
In terms of volume?
Yeah.
We were probably short about 3 weeks, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay.
Come Christmas, we were usually under pressure.
Right.
And I suppose long term, they're going to, are they going to change the allocation per cow? It looks like we're going to need more storage long term anyway.
Okay. So what options did you look at when you were looking at?
I suppose the first thing I looked at was at separating the dirty water and possibly putting in a bag. Like, as you said, we're on the edge of the city, so we don't know how long more we're going to be farming here. So it was about keeping costs down. So a slurry bag was my first choice, and I got on to Linton and Robinson, and Paul Dillion came and talked to me, and he went through all the options, and when we looked at it, this was the least hassle and the cheapest option, and we're adding a third to the tank for reasonably small money, in my opinion, when it comes to doing concrete. It was very small. I looked at putting in slats in the cow yard as well, but we didn't actually have enough space to build a tank big enough for the capacity that we required.
Right. Okay. Good. So what capacity was on the tank originally?
About 260,000 gallons.
Yeah.
That should bring it up to, should add another third to it, so maybe another 75, 80,000 gallons.
Okay. Good. And I think a few weeks back, as you were preparing for it, you emptied it out, did you?
That's right. It wasn't emptied since 2008 when it went in. There was a lot of silt in the bottom of it, so we got a crane and a bobcat, and we lifted the bobcat in and got a team there one Saturday morning, and we emptied it.
Yeah.
Actually worked very well.
Was that the first time you did it? Or
first time ever, yeah.
Yeah.
But we reckon we took out about 200 tonne of silt out of it.
Right.
The crane lifted 45 times, and he reckoned that there was about 4 tonne of silt per skip. So.
Okay.
Show me something, 'cause
And so did you spread that in the land then after a while?
Well, it was to be spread there in the last fortnight or so, but
Weather hasn't
allowed it, so it'll be there till we'll probably put it out in the beat ground. We're grazing Father Beat at the moment, so we'll probably put it out in the beat ground there in March or April when the weather dries up now.
Okay, good. Yeah, you didn't consider putting in aeration into the tank as you were?
I did, but again, it's about the expense.
Yeah.
With the amount of volume of parlour washings and stuff we have going into, we don't ever have a problem agitating it. So
Okay.
an hour with on the whisk and an hour or two with the tractor, with 2 tractors on it,
Right.
you pretty much agitate it any time of the year in 2 hours.
Okay, good. Yeah. So when did they come to start fitting?
So we ordered the tank just before the ploughing. The tank arrived the 28th of October, and it's there. They only came this time yesterday morning,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much done.
Good.
I must say, from start to finish, Linton and Robinson were excellent to deal with.
Yeah.
Paul Dillion did exactly what it says in the tin, in fairness to him. He came and looked at it, he gave me a quote in 3 or 4 days, gave me all the options. I put a deposit on the ring. He said it'd be there at the end of October, it was, and he said they'd come and fit it a week afterwards, and they did. So in fairness to him, I'd highly recommend him to anyone.
Good to hear.
Very, very straight to deal with.
So you haven't put anything in there obviously yet, so
No.
yeah, so how quickly can you use it again? Are you pretty
I'm not
much-
sure.
Yeah.
I presume we can put stuff into it shortly.
Yeah.
But it'll be a long time before it hits the top ring anyway, so
Yeah.
the slurry needs to move in the next 3 or 4 days anyway, so it'll have to go in there. I'll have
Yeah.
to talk to them, it's
Yeah.
for sure.
No, very good. Costs, I suppose, Courtney, obviously a consideration was using or digging a concrete tank.
Yeah, I suppose it's we reckon there's about 80,000 gallons extra going into it, and the costs before VAT was 21,000. So I thought it was very cheap extra storage. I spoke to my advisor about it. He said didn't think there was anything that you could do to add that volume of storage for that kind of money. So in terms of cost per gallon, it was very small, really.
Yeah. And I suppose the
and
surgery to
disruption.
do anything you'd have on your older sheds would have been very difficult.
Yeah, as I said, what I wanted to do was to make life easier so that you weren't washing and scraping yards anymore, but the cost and the upheaval was just not worth it, I thought, in the long run.
Yeah.
So this was the easiest
Yes.
and the cheapest option.
Okay. So Courtney, just derogation-wise, there's a lot of change obviously in the last few months. Has it made an impact to you, or have you to adjust your business much?
I suppose we probably need to take on extra acres to stay where we are. We are looking at exporting slurry as an option. We do it anyway because we have land rented off a tillage farmer, or we take grass off a tillage farmer nearby, and we draw slurry to it. So it's about documenting that properly now. Hopefully we will get away without reduction in numbers. So at the moment, that's where we stand.
And the banding hasn't been too severe on you where your cow type was?
No, the banding, we are in the centre bracket and banding. We feed a lot of milk to calves, which helps keep our deliveries down as well. So we've never used milk powder, so now maybe that'll change, but that definitely helped the banding. Will keep us out of the high bracket.
Okay, very good. Look, thanks for your time today.
No problem.
And we might have a quick chat with Kevin there, who's installing the system here. Perfect. So Kevin, you have the hard job here today. You're putting
Yep.
on the top ring.
As always, yep.
So we've been with you before, so you do a lot of contract fitting
We do,
for
yeah.
Linton and Robinson.
Yeah,
So you cover all of Ireland and into the
Ireland
UK.
and the UK, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So I suppose, look, you had a box and you had all the material dropped. So
Yeah.
when you come on site, what do you do, or what do you look at?
So because this is a tank put up in 08, I think it was, so we're just here putting on an extension ring onto it. First of all, I suppose, let's say with Linton's, they had to go and check first to make sure it could take another ring.
Yeah. So what are you checking there on that then, say? Or
So just on every tank, it has a serial number that comes from Permastore or from Starth. And you just send it over to them and they can take up in their records then. This would be it here. Look. So you can see here on the date the tank was, that's the day that the tank was made in England, and that's what type of tank it is.
yeah.
And that's the number of the tank, and that's just the tank or the farm's number then on Permastore's records.
So are all tanks made to extend or not?
Mainly they are, unless you're kind of in a place of outstanding beauty where they'll only ever give you a 3-ring tank then. And if they do that, there's no point spending the extra money going for an extendable tank. So there's not.
So when you came on site first, did you have to remove?
So yeah, so there's a top angle. That top angle now the lads are putting back on. It was down on the top of the 3rd ring here. And take it all off, and then to get it all off and just start putting up the sheets then
Right.
with scaffolding.
Yeah. Good.
So then you can see the wind brace here, the brackets for the wind brace here then. So all that does is stops the tank being blown in
Right.
if the tank's ever empty and a high wind hits it, you know.
Yes.
So that's all that angle there does.
So will you have an angle there and plus at the top as well?
Correct. Yeah.
So you'll have two?
Yeah. You'll have two.
Yeah.
The one at the top is just to give it the circle again on the top, and then the one going on the top of the third ring is just to take the weight of the wind pushing off it.
Okay. So you started yesterday, Tuesday, is that right?
We started yesterday, yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you're here today, Wednesday. Will you have it finished today?
No, I'd say we'll be here for a couple of hours tomorrow as well,
Yeah.
just getting everything tidied up
Okay.
and tightening down.
Right.
The ladder and platform and the jetter all has to go back up again. So
Okay. So consumables and what's involved with it?
So just like every other tank, you have your nuts and your bolts and your mastic. All different length of bolts depending on where they have to go.
Yeah.
Like they'd be all, most of them would be all inch, but where there's a bracket then they'd be all inch and a quarter then.
Right.
You know, so.
So how long does it take the mastic to go off?
Oh, well, you could touch it now, I would say tomorrow morning, but it wouldn't be actually finally gone off, do you know, but I'll still take another couple of days. Kind of all depends on the weather too, do you know, so it's...
That's critical to the whole ceiling.
It is, well, especially up the top ring, doesn't really matter because it takes the farmer has a couple of months storage until he gets to that, you know, so
Yeah.
it's just getting down here in time to get it done. Because the farmer is looking to put stuff into it tomorrow, I think, so.
Yeah, and there's no issue with filling that again so
No,
very quickly again.
No, by the time he gets that, it'll be well dried then.
Yeah. So the bolts here, you've some you were able to recycle.
Yeah, so let's say all the top, all the ones at the top angle, they go up, they just go back on again because they're 100%, you know. Just go on with a bit of mastic on the top just, but everywhere else you see they're all fresh bolts and mastic then, so they're...
Good. So ladder then, you've ladder here
The
beside
ladder
us?
then, yeah, because his existing ladder and platform goes up now another 5 feet. This brings it back down again to where it was, and you'll have 3 kind of protection rings on it. So if you ever fall back or lose your footing, you won't fall to the ground then.
Yeah. So Kevin, just preparing then, you know, for the farmer.
Yeah.
What can the farmer do to, I suppose, make the process a bit easier?
Well, it'd be on the outside of the tank. It would need at least about 7 or 8 foot for the scaffold to come around. Now, here obviously you couldn't do it with the wall, but in fairness to the farmer, he has everything else done for us. But what he's done is he cleaned out the inside with the crane and the skip. He thinks he took out about 200 tonne of silt out of the tank, you know, which is cutting away down his capacity, but it just lets us work freely on the inside then.
Yeah.
So it does.
It's obviously a very difficult job if you've 3 feet
Oh,
of
it's,
stuff
if
inside.
you have 2 or 3 foot, it does make it very difficult, you know, but you know, we're trying to stop doing that now if we can.
Yeah, okay. It's obviously a tank that's easier to agitate as well if all that silt is gone.
Yeah, your mixture works far better too if all the silt's gone, and you have a lot more capacity then as well.
Like he can't be effective there if as the agitators, we look at it there, if the silt is above it.
No, and see, the silt will be always on the other side of the tank,
Okay.
because that's where the mixture pushes it to.
Okay.
Do you know, so
It tends to move over.
it just tends to move over, like,
Okay.
you know, but
Yeah.
that's no, like this tank wouldn't be a huge tank, like, and if you took 200 tonne out of it, do you know, so you'd imagine if you had twice as many cows in the tank, twice as big, you could have 300 or 400 tonne on it. Do you know,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
a lot of
well
lost
worth,
capacity gone.
you know, and if they only have to do it every 15 years, it shouldn't be too bad.
No, cool.
You know, so
Good. And you're busy?
kept going now,
Yeah.
yeah, kept going, thankfully, yeah. Well, I suppose storage is a hot topic now at the minute, so
Yeah.
people haven't got enough storage and this, that, and the other. So,
Yeah.
you know, but no, there's a lot of people going for these extensions now, or planning on going for them next year, so
That's good.
So
It's an effective way of doing it, especially with the towers there already.
well, I suppose you've invested the money in the foundation, and the first E-ring's all heavy, you see. Do you know, so you've kind of spent the money already, so it's a shame not to do it.
Yes.
Do you
yeah.
know, so
Yeah, it's your cheapest storage really.
it's your
additional.
cheapest, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, and like, that tank won't catch any more water now with the extra ring, like, so you get the full 5 foot of benefit.
Okay,
Do you know, so
Yeah.
that's the way that we look at it.
good. Sure, look, thanks for your time again, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Cheers now, thank you.
talk soon.